Welcome back to Global with me, Matthew. I'm really well. Now, what do you control with an app on your mobile phone? It seems they are taking over every aspect of modern life, with more than 102 million different apps reportedly available at the moment. So for consumers, they can help offer personal experiences everywhere, from shops to museums. And for business, they can increase productivity and even help reduce carbon footprints. So what is actually coming next? Well, I'm joined here by three people who'll be showing off their latest tricks at the Apps World Europe conference, which is happening here in London later this week. They are Sarah Weller from Wearable, an agency which designs custom-made apps, Peter Keenan, who runs Zapp, a new mobile payment platform, and Nick Hayward from Razer, who are bringing out a new wristband that can be used to control, well, all sorts of apps. Thanks to all of you for coming in with all your new tricks and devices. Let's quickly go round the table first of all and just tell our viewers what you're developing. Sarah, to you first of all, what are you looking at?
So one of the key things that we've been looking at recently is around location-based technology and what you can do with location technology. We've created a separate division of the company to focus on beacons. So Apple started talking about iBeacons over a year ago.
What does that mean?
So here's a beacon.
Right.
And it's a Bluetooth low-energy transmitter. And what it enables is location-based content on your micro-location. So for example, you're walking around and based on your micro-location indoor, you can have content triggered to you. So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So in the retail scenario, what we're looking at now is shoppers actually going into a large retailer and having content triggered to them based on it knowing who they are, knowing their preferences, and now it knows that I'm still in a specific area of this store. Or assisted shopping, so actually the customer service people can come and give me a more personalised experience.
Useful, but I can see millions of people thinking, gosh, that could be quite irritating as well. I'll come back to that in a moment. Nick, to you first of all. Now, you're looking at wearable technology, aren't you?
That's correct, yeah. So we've got the Razer Naboo, which is a smart band. So it's on the dividing line between a fitness band and a smart watch. So what this does is this is open source, which is very important because that means that anyone can develop apps for it or develop plugins for other apps, which will then work with the Naboo. It has an accelerometer in it and an altimeter, and then most importantly, it has a small display screen here, so I can get notifications from my phone. So for example, with Sarah's app, you could get a micro-location notification, which your phone might be in your pocket, tucked away in your bag, but the Naboo...
That is very small, though, the screen itself.
Yeah, it's there as a notification. As you see here, I've just got a message come in from my mate Jeff, and he's just sending me a message. So now I know that I've got something here, so I can either now pick up my phone and read the message, or I can go, OK...
Just point that at the camera so people can see actually just how small that is. But I suppose that directs you to somewhere else, in effect.
The whole point of this is that it's an easy-to-integrate piece of wearable technology. It doesn't impinge massively on your life and the way that you use it. It's there to make things easier for you. So now you haven't got to fish around in your pocket for your phone. You know you've got something, you can go, actually, I'll talk to him later, and I'll just dismiss it.
Peter, yours.
Very simply, Zapp is a mobile payment platform. It works direct from your mobile banking app, so it's not a separate app that you have to download from the App Store. So if you like, it's a platform that builds in payment functionality into your already existing mobile banking app. So what does that mean in practice? So when you're in a shop or online and shopping using Zapp, for example, you'll get to be able to see the balance in your account at the point of making that purchase. So a real win for consumers.
I suspect the first 10 things that every consumer would think of, though, with something like that is security about their money, because that is absolutely crucial to this. So what is the answer to that and ensuring that?
Very simplistically, I mean, I could get into a lot of jargon here, which wouldn't be helpful, but we use what's called random tokens to represent the purchase. So what that means is the consumer is not sharing any what's called static data, payment data with the retailer, like you do when you hand over your credit card. You know, your credit card number never changes. And that's one of the reasons why cards have become so insecure over the last number of years. They were really designed for a physical world. Zapp is very much designed for this multi-channel digital world by using these tokens.
Sarah, coming back to your app, I said straight away, flippantly, partly, but it could be irritating. It could be irritating if you just get bombarded with information if that shop knows that you've walked through the doors. It's got to be linked up, doesn't it, to something more than that for it to be effective?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that we've seen over the last year is some people jumping on this and thinking it's just a way to send people vouchers. Actually, it's so much more than that. It's about delivering more personalised, assisted experiences. And I think a key thing here as well is that these aren't just for retail. This is actually about accessing data very, very quickly based on your micro-location. So retail is one example.
So give me other uses then.
So we've just done a campaign with Microsoft around the guide dogs, and we're using these in stores and kind of indoor locations to assist blind people and visually impaired people and actually give them audio to direct them and have an assisted experience for them as well. We're also using it in enterprise situations. So instead of people turning up to an asset and having to look through all this paperwork about service histories and a whole range of other things, they can actually have information that's essential to them doing their jobs triggered based on knowing you're stood in front of this asset. This is the information that's important to you. I'm going to give it to you right now on your mobile device.
Nick, I mean, you were just showing us a little of the usages. It's interesting because you're developing this wristband, but actually how it's used, in a sense, you're throwing that open to wherever the market actually takes you, aren't you? Yeah. I mean, what are the sorts of usages do you have roughly in mind? So,
I mean, we're a gaming company. Razer is a gaming company. That's our core business. But we recognise that gamers have a life outside of just playing games. They go out, they're riding their bikes, they socialise, they go clubbing. So the idea of this is that you can engage with other users using this. So we have a high-five function. So if you were wearing one of these, we could high-five each other.
Right.
And that means
how would that help then?
So what that could do is, rather than me having to hunt you out on Facebook, you would now get a Facebook notification saying, I'd like to add you as a friend. Or we could both be playing the same game, and rather than us trying to find each other in the game, we would then get a friend request through that. And you could use it with Strava, which is a cycling app, or Endomondo, or Map My Run, or these sort of things as well.
And interestingly, that conference that we said in the introduction that you're all going to, in a sense, throw it open to all the people who are coming and saying, look, you develop
we're actually
stuff to go on this, aren't you?
That's exactly it. We're running a competition, and it's going to be running for 48 hours. So the developers have to, they'll be given the development kits for the Naboo, and then they go away. They have 48 hours to code up some kind of app, and it can be pretty much whatever they want it to be.
Spin through a final few thoughts. Peter, in terms of a lot of how all of, certainly the apps that you're developing, it's connectivity, there are barriers at the moment. How do you get past those sorts of obstacles? Because at the moment, potentially sometimes when you use this sort of technology, there are extra charges, for example. All of that has got to be broken down for an app like yours to be successful, don't they?
Sure. Well, the first thing to say, to the end user, Zapp is free. So it's a feature, as I say, you get from your bank. So there's no charge to the end consumer. And we believe that is absolutely crucial to drive, if you like, customer adoption. In terms of barriers, though, I mean, to Nick's point, one of the key things, when you have a platform like Zapp or like Razer, you've got to encourage the developer community to build apps and build functionality that can use your platform. And that's really about making it easy and simple for them to do that.
Well, we have to leave it there. I think Sarah was offering the advice that even if it is not totally ready, get the app out there and then develop it through the years rather than waiting for the finished final end product. So thank you all very much for coming in and demonstrating what you plan to take to this gathering. Well, don't forget, we have got an app of our very own. If you're away from the television, want to keep up to date with all the very latest, of course, you can just head to BBC News, just download the BBC News app onto your phone. It'll give you all the very latest on the stories we're running. If you can see that there, all the stories that we have gone through today, and there you see Syria and also the latest on Ebola.